All right, what's up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here. Thank you so much for tuning in to GSD Interviews. Before we jump into this interview, I want to give our sponsors a quick plug that make this show possible. So our first sponsor is our real estate software, www.perfectstormnow.com, the most affordable and effective lead generation software out there. This isn't just a website. Yeah, we've got a website. Yeah, we've got a blog feature. Yeah, we have a testimonials and video client testimonials feature. We have community pages. We have all of the typical website stuff. Where we differentiate ourselves is on the lead generation. We teach you how to lead generate. The system is extremely effective with lead generation. We can teach you how to go out there and generate more leads than you can handle without spending a penny on lead generation, right? Not only, though, do we teach you how to lead generate, not only is it a great website, it's a coaching platform combined with software. So we have two monthly live training sessions that are 2 hours long with myself personally. So we teach you how to use the site, how to generate with the site, how to leverage the site. And it goes deeper than that. Okay, I'm getting all these leads. What do I do? What do I say? How do I convert these leads? So we go and train you and coach you on every aspect of that so you can go out there and dominate it in your business. You have access to me, my developers on a daily basis as a customer of ours. So it's $99 a month, no contracts, no registration fees. It's month to month, $99 a month. You can't beat it, right? So go check us out, www.perfectstormnow.com. Our next sponsor is my personal mentorship. You know, if you're ready to take your business, your life, your career to the next level, we've got my 90-day mastery boot camp, which is a mentorship with me personally. Every single week, it's 3 hours or 2 hours of live coaching and training with me, and then 1 hour of live Q&A. You have daily access to me and our private mastermind. We build out your playbook, every aspect of the residential real estate business, from how to lead generate to how to lead follow-up to how to do your presentations to how to build out your database. We even start talking about how to grow a team, how to hire, how to fire. There's nothing that we do not cover inside that program. Then after the program's done, after the initial 12-week program's done, it's an ongoing platform. It's $50 a month where you have access to me for as long as you want. You know, right? And in that $50 a month program, you guys, I've made that where $50 a month is more powerful than a $1,000 a month coaching program that you can get anywhere else. So we do 4 hours of monthly coaching at $50 a month. So you get 4 hours of live coaching. We have 2 in-person masterminds here in Phoenix, Arizona. They're every 6 months. It's a private mastermind with me and only the alumni bootcamp members that are part of the mentorship. We don't bring in guest speakers. There's nothing to sell. There's none of that crap that we all get at all these other seminars that we go to. Usually go pay $500 for a seminar and they try to sell you a bunch of shit. That's not what this is. This is hardcore masterminding. This is a hardcore mentorship, mastermind, and growth program. So if you guys want to learn more about that, www.90daymastery.com. Hope to see you guys in the program. All right, let's jump on into the interview. Hopefully you enjoy this as much as I did. What's up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD interview. Every single week, we interview top entrepreneurs, top realtors, and just straight up top badasses. You guys are out there dominating their space. So today, I got some great friends of mine in the studio, live in the studio, in the new studio. They just flew in from Houston. They're real estate agents, top producing real estate agents in their market. So welcome to the show, Mickey and Jackie.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, this is awesome, dude. So we've known each other for some time. You guys were Rookie of the Year in your office last year. Your business is on track to double and possibly triple this year. So let's dive on in, man. Most agents, 90% of real estate agents, fail in their first 3 years, right? And that first year or two is so tough. You guys jump in, you hit the ground running, you knock out 17 sales at a really good price point in your marketplace, and you become Rookies of the Year. And then again this year, your second year on track to double and triple your business. So let's just talk about that, man. What was your first year like? How did you pick up traction? And how did you get out there and do so much business?
Well, I started with Keller Williams. They gave us pretty good training, to understand what's going on with them. But I met you at the right time. I met you probably my 4th month into the industry. I was doing open houses every single weekend. Tried to, I was doing maybe Fridays, Saturdays, and sometimes Sundays. I had the wrong concept of open houses in the whole industry, to be quite honest. So when I met you, you were talking about the mega open houses. I really submerged myself into your podcast before I even met you. But the first year, every single time she would help me with all my open houses, it would be like 1 or 2, sometimes 5 people would show up. I didn't give it my all. I really wasn't producing anything. It was a waste of time at that point. once I found, how to do these open houses more properly, I mean, that was, towards maybe summertime once I really submerged myself into your camp. So that's one of I think I was in your first camp, right? Your first, yep, first camp. So first few months, I wasn't doing anything. I really wasn't until I understood the mentality is where I had to be. And I really submerged myself with the books that you actually recommended and other books that I actually read. And production-wise, it was where I was barely getting closings. That was my first introduction to real estate. It wasn't the best introduction first few months, but after I really learned everything that I was supposed to learn, little by little, I started getting into the habit of closing month per month. And then that's what caused us to get Rookie of the Year last year.
Yeah, awesome.
And this is tricky.
So okay, so you bang out 17 deals, I think, right, your first year. So really, that wasn't your first year. That was like 8 months.
8 months,
of a game plan, because it took you to get that traction. And we see that. It's like, okay, I'm out there doing the work. But just because you're doing the work, if you're not following the right roadmap, you're not going to get the results you want. It's like, I can go to the gym every single day, but if I don't work out properly, I'm probably not going to get those results. So let's talk about that, dude. What were some of those tweaks that you guys did from your open houses? I know you also get a lot of business from social media, your past client sphere. Walk us through what some of those changes look like. And yeah.
Okay, so besides open houses, of course, learning to adapt the right open house mentality was probably the first thing we had to learn. So going through the boot camp, and I didn't learn anything else. I wasn't reading anything else. I think when I met you, I really wanted to read like every single book out there. So the first thing was not studying every single thing until I learned one thing. So learning the one thing only. Your program was really the roadmap to everything else after that. Once my mentality was perfected, and where I'm still, of course, getting into the perfection part, because you never stop learning. You start to understand that this game is all mental. So open houses, for example, I would get cussed out by certain people, certain areas, because we all put too much signs up. So that's really the first thing. Learning that signage is really important. I was walking 4 or 5 miles every day by myself. I was doing the legwork. She will be the one that would be hosting the open houses. And every summer I had a big farmer's stand. Right now I don't have a farmer's stand, but during summer I had a big farmer's stand because I was walking everywhere. Every either one day of the week to get the soccer moms, and then I will get a Saturday and a Sunday as well. So I will do 3 open houses every week. Everyone from my old office knew the fact that I did these really good open houses, and even older agents were asking me, "What the hell is an open house? A mega open house?" Mm-hmm. And it got to a point where they started texting me, "What the hell is this?" And I'm gonna remind you, they've been in the industry for 15, 20 years, and they had no clue how to do an open house. So that's the first thing, is getting your leads into perspective, and that's where I'm trying to get at. My first thing was understanding the open house mentality. That was the first 2 things that got me into the next levels, because my SOI was okay. I never was the type that I had a lot of SOIs. I didn't really have a lot of good rich contacts or a ton of contacts where people were buying left and right. As a matter of fact, I didn't get my first SOI until this year. So I wasn't depending on that. I was depending on everything that we strive for, open house wise. Once that happened, then that's when we started getting the rest. So we were doing the open houses. We were doing the landing pages, of squeeze pages from certain groups as well. And that really converted into everything else. And the follow-up game was the fact that we were getting people from, like, let's just say June, and we were closing them months later because of the follow-up was very, very strong. But we tweaked that. We didn't have a good, follow-up system, so we put them on direct campaigns. We started talking about, I even took some people out of coffee shops. My face was always in their presence, and Jackie's as well. So her approach is our approach is she's a good cop, bad cop. Whenever we, I'm more of a get behind the wheel, and she's the sweetheart. Yeah, and they like her more. But I'm the one that pushes it. So that's what we had to tweak as a couple. And that really helped us out in that aspect.
Yeah, awesome. So, we all have different obstacles that we have to overcome, right? Mm-hmm. Especially in those first couple of years, man, there's a lot of obstacles that we have to overcome. What were some of the biggest obstacles that you guys had to overcome? And then what were some that, like, when you got into this business, that you never thought would be obstacles?
So share some of yours.
The obstacles? Thanks for putting me on the spot. But like, one of the obstacles was, I guess, just changing your way of living, like making it into a lifestyle. I came from a 9-to-5 job, so I was used to work being given to me. And then now in real estate, you actually have to look for work and do everything yourself and have your own initiative to do things. And like when Mickey found you and I started listening to some of the stuff that you were saying, we changed our perspective on real estate, like compared to the way that Keller Williams had originally taught us, of putting like 1 or 2 open house signs. We started putting up like almost 100, like 50 to 75 that we would put up. And we started getting a lot more results from there. And we changed our follow-up game and started reading books. And that also helped change your mind and way of thinking.
Yep. I think reading, I read 27 books in the last 13 months. And some of them I read multiple times. Cardone, I read multiple times. I read, the Bob Proctor. I read a lot of books. And I don't just read through it. I actually absorb quite a bit of it. There's no point of reading a book if you're not going to, use it for yourself. You're wasting your time, if you ask me. A lot of the stuff here in real estate, and you understand, and I'm sure a lot of your audiences understand, it's all mentality. You wake up sometimes, at the bottom of the barrel, and you have to kind of consistently keep going up. And that's when you read. You consistently read, you study the greats, like you said, and you apply your surroundings with anything that's positive. So I really believe in the law of attraction. So I go to sleep thinking good things, and I wake up having good things. That's one of the things that a lot of people don't understand in this industry or entrepreneurship, really. You wake up, you're like, okay, I have a million things to do, and you look at how much stuff you do. But if you look at it, like you said, from the top, one by one, you start really initiating. You start doing everything you're supposed to be doing. And my aspect, every single morning I'm out there. I write my goals down every morning, and I have a journal that's called Good Vibes. That's one of my one of my books. She has one too. We write our goals. We don't read each other's goals. It's kind of like
our diary.
Yeah, our little diary. She has hers. I have mine. So every morning I do that, and I think 3 things that I learned in my previous 24 hours, like you taught us as well. So everything you really taught us in the boot camp and everything else, really, I've really applied it, and it really helped me out. And I'm not just saying that because you're here. I mean, my friend's seen it. It's like a different mentality that you have to understand once you're in it. But tweaking wise, it's what we've done. Mentality is really the only thing I've tweaked. Everything else, I mean, I'm young, so there's no. I mean, I have all the energy. What am I tweaking? Of energy wise, I have a ton of energy. So that's the only thing that I feel people need to tweak the most.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, man. It was like when I went from doing about 300,000 commissions to 1.3 million in a 12-month span. The activities didn't change. It was up here that changed. The dude showing up, doing the activities was who changed. So love that and couldn't agree more, man. So talk about lifestyle, right? You mentioned cousin, it's 9 to 5. So many people talk about balance and what that looks like, but you guys are like 24/7, man. Yeah. So now it's not forever in entrepreneurship, but it's for some time until you can become successful enough to build up that support and build up that team. So let's talk about that. How much hustle has it taken? What does your typical days look like? And
Yeah.
We don't take sometimes we're 16 days working in a row without having a day off, and we work late, sometimes till midnight. Just getting paperwork done.
Yeah. So basically, we start off Mondays. Typically, I hate Mondays, but I mean, that's who doesn't. I've called, my worst calling is on Mondays. Me personally, in my industry, is where people have gotten ruder. But so I take Monday, for example, my way to start advertising more. So Mondays, I do a ton of advertisement more than any other day. In my opinion, that's when I start my campaigns, and that's when I end them the next Monday. So it's a whole week. If I'm doing squeeze pages, if I'm doing any kind of target ads, I do it for 1 week every time, and I consistently do that. So I've kind of looked for a negative and turned it into a positive because I've turned less conversions on Mondays than any other day. This is my market. But the way I usually start my days is typically, of course, like I said earlier, you write down your goals, what you want to accomplish that day, and take action on whatever it is that you might have. So, for example, we wake up, we do the goals, we start calling right around 8 o'clock, 7:30, around there, depends what day, and then we don't stop. We do the 60-90. So we do 60 minutes of hardcore calling, and then we do 90 minutes of everything else. So emails, text messages, I ignore them for those 60 minutes while I'm doing calling with Jackie. And what she does, because we broke into 2 things, she does more the calling of the listings for expires and FSBOs, and I'm here handling more of the buyer side, and I'm also handling the advertisements and the evolution of our business, because it has to consistently evolve to keep up with people. So I submerge them into my books. She reads them with me. So typically, if we are in a downtime, for example, at a gym, we work out typically at night, which we should stop. We're hearing audiobooks as well. That's part of our business. Every single night, we're reading something different. But all the way until maybe 7 or 8 o'clock, we're on it. I mean, if we have to do appointments, I mean, I've gotten people that come up to us and say, hey, I'm pre-approved. I'm ready to buy. It's like 7 o'clock. Can you make it? I'm like, if it's a 30-minute drive, I'll make it. I don't care. It's to me, I'm at a point where it's my first year in a few months. I'm trying to make a name for ourselves. So at any time of night, we don't have kids, which is a great advantage for me and Jackie. So we'll go out there and do it. It doesn't matter if it's Saturday, Sunday, holidays. We worked Easter. We had an open house. It was an amazing. Yeah, it was an amazing. Yeah, we had so many people show up for holiday ones. So I mean, work when other people don't work. I mean, Oprah worked on Saturdays because she understood that her competition was off on Sundays, and she took advantage of that. So we take advantage of days that people don't want to work, and the amount of hours people are like, you got to rest, you got to bring yourself out. It doesn't happen unless you let it happen. That's it.
I mean, it's not rocket science, you know. You just have to be persistent and do what you learn, like the way you do it. You wake up at 3 a.m. and you get shit done. Yeah, we witnessed it. So, and then, you know, we're trying to work at that pace. Well, we're not there yet. We wake up like at 4:35, but at the most. But yeah,
still a good time.
Yeah, no, I love it. You know, it's so many people are chasing that magic pill, and it's just like, dude, there's no secrets. It's he or she that just gets intentional, like you said, that stays consistent, that outworks everybody else, and creates a massive hustle. So, you know, I've had the pleasure. We've been hanging out since Sunday. You guys flew in Sunday, picked you guys up from the airport, and you've been working together. You've been shadowing us at the office, team meetings. You guys have been grinding while you're here, watching you cover leads. Say you got a shit ton of appointments booked for this week already while you've been here in the office. But I've also had the pleasure of hanging out with you guys outside of here, eating dinners, lunches, doing shots of Fireball. You know, one thing that's cool about it is you guys work together. You're in business together. You live together, right? So there's so many husband and wife teams, man. They really struggle with that. How do you guys get shit done in your business, but then also maintain such a great relationship?
Well, we have a two-story home. So she's on the bottom, I'm on the top. So I have the smaller office, and she has the bigger office. So we don't normally
see secrets giving her the bigger office.
Yeah, that actually is a secret life. Happy wife, happy life, right?
And you being on top.
But we don't see each other till probably around noon for lunch. So we stay at home quite a bit. We don't really, because our office is about an hour and 30 minutes sometimes. Yeah. And that, like you said, you could book appointments driving those 1 hour and a half. So instead of wasting all the time there, and people, you know, that go there for the culture or whatever, if you're an hour and a half away, you're missing prospect time. You should really be booking appointments more than anything else. Yeah, I'm not getting paid to go to the office. I'm getting paid to book these appointments and then executing them. That's what I get paid for, and of course, happy customers as well. So the way we do it is that we actually communicate through the walkie-talkie. So she's up there because I don't like to scream outside the house. So she has a walkie-talkie, little cheap ones we bought $30, and sometimes, you know, she's on there and she's like, hey, do you have certain file? And I have this file. We start kind of talking walkie-talkie, kind of like it's a big house. So that's part of one of our secrets. We don't really see each other. It feels like we don't see each other. It feels like we're still from another office or another industry. So we still have our barriers, even though we're still in the same home. And when we're at home, we get shit done. We don't just go in there and we have a boxer dog like you do, and we could be playing with the dog or going. You know, it's very easy to lose that focus at home and do other stuff. You know, we're comfortable. So we get dressed for success. I wake up, I put my work clothes, and she wears her work clothes, and that's one of our things we do every morning. We're not in pajamas. We're not a pajama agent. We're dressed for success. Another thing though that I realize is if you're in pajamas and then you get a call for an appointment that same hour, it's kind of hard to get two people dressed if you're already dressed. So you can make a quicker appointment, get back quicker. So we're always ready to go for that next appointment. And what do you feel?
No, that's how we do it. We have separate offices, and we'll have our group meeting every day, and we'll talk about what we're gonna do. Yep, we'll split our what we're supposed to do, and so I mean, it's just also you also have to kind of compromise sometimes, and let one take the lead and not both want to do the same thing at the same time. Like, so that's why we separate our work, and that's helped us out a lot, and not having to be in front of each other all day.
Yeah, not working side by side all day long.
Yeah, we don't try to bump heads too much, and she has her role, I have mine. Only way to do it.
Yeah. You know? So, I mean, you guys have been really smart with your money, right? I mean, you got your house paid off and how to keep your bills low, and you're making really good money. What keeps you guys leveling up for more? Because it's so easy to get caught in things are good, it's good enough. we can just kind of not necessarily coast, but pull the foot off the accelerator, not go for growth and travel more, take more days off, which you guys are choosing not to do. You're like, no, we did this, now we need to triple it. And then boom, boom. What keeps each of you leveling up? Like, what drives each of you?
Well, we luckily for us, we have the same goals and the same mentality. So I think that if there was a realtor that had the opposite, it may be a wife or husband, it doesn't matter. You guys have to be in the same mentality, the same boat. So we risk a lot of our relationships. For example, we don't go out. Too recently, we started going out more because of weddings and stuff like that. But there was a time, for months and months, we didn't do anything. Social events, for example, for offices, we hardly go to them.
We hardly went to happy hours.
Yeah,
Anything.
And it makes it look kind of on the bad side a lot of times. People might assume that you don't want to hang out with them, but when the grind is more important, we tend to just focus on that only. So that was one of the first things first. When I was introduced to real estate, the first few months, I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I mean, I had so much Kool-Aid, I had diabetes, I believed in everything in there, and it was all social events, but I didn't have one sale to my name. I didn't have any clients. Every time I did an open house, it was the worst. And I was like, I started to not believe that you can make any money in this industry. There was other realtors I would meet. They would make $300,000-$400,000. And at the time, that seemed like a lot of money, and it still is. But it seemed impossible. Like, there's no way I could do that. He's been doing it for 30 years. I can't accomplish that. But the first thing was eliminating things that do not help you get to the next level. Sleeping late. We like, one of our pastime was video games as a couple. We like to play together back in the days. In college we both were gaming a lot and things like that. But my point is, take away your pastime that doesn't make you any money. If it's movies, if it's any kind of show that keeps you up to 2-3 in the morning, because you get into that one season and you watch the whole thing in 2-3 weeks. Yeah, Netflix, right? That was the first thing, and then of course leveling up is of course mentality, which I already talked about. And
we also learn not to compare ourselves to other successful agents. Just do you and do the best you can do, and just focus on yourself and looking forward, because those are just distractions, and that puts you down. Just seeing how they're successful, they closed on $3 million home. How come I didn't? So just focusing on yourself and improving your self development, your mental state. And I think that's what helped us jump to a higher level than what we were at before.
Yeah, and but not just that, because that's great in what we're doing, but it's not wasting your time on stupidity. Right. There's so much crap out there, man. You could be all day being sidetracked. And we love Hawaii. That's one of our favorite places to go. So we have it on our mind. Whenever we get stressed out, we put ourselves in island mode for 2-3 seconds. We come back to it. We come back and start getting what we have to, because in this industry it's crazy. It's in real estate, there's always things to do, and if you're not doing anything, you're not making any money, and that's just the simple truth. So we have goals that are short term. We might not go a lot to bars and parties and things like that normal industries do. But we're not in that normal industry. We're in the get shit done industry. So we go to the next level by putting ourselves into maybe coming here, learning some stuff, and then months later we take a small little retreat. But the whole time we don't stop working. I mean, there's times we're working 7 days a week, and there's our 7th, 8th, 9th day, and I forget that I haven't taken a day off, and I have to remind myself, you don't burn yourself out. But it's consistently coming through to the next day, and it gets hard. But I mean, it's something that is not impossible to do. I mean, the greats have all done it, and they're still alive, a lot of them. So I mean, why not? So that's another thing. It's listening to people like Josh. Listening, don't compete, and especially in relationships that are marriage. People tend to do this a lot. Yeah, and like she said, don't compare yourself to other top realtors. You're yourself, and that's it. You're the only competition that there is.
Yeah, love it. So with your online strategy, because we're talking like you guys just heavily got into the online strategy in the last 60 days. You've invested like $300 in Facebook ads, and you got like $24,000. It hasn't closed yet, but in working commissions that are coming into you from what you've converted in less than 60 days. So many people struggle with that. The converting those internet leads and jumping on those, and it can be so brilliantly effective if they're worked right. So give us an example of like what you guys are doing. That lead comes in. How have you been so successful at converting those at a high level?
Well, I'm the geek between me and Jackie. So I've always I have a lot of computer background since I was a kid. I've always loved computers and technology. So when I submerge myself to understanding your program, and then applying that to specifics. So in my area, for example, there are a lot of demographics out there, different age groups, different races. So I tend to investigate, and it's simple. You go through your local MLS and you can look up your demographics. So if I do an area that's mainly millennials, for example, well, I want to target that age group more. I did a one target ad and it got all of Houston. I was doing every age group, everything. And what I noticed that I had mainly females that were clicking from the age of 19 to 44. So that was my first step. I started doing a lot of testing as well because every market, it always changes, every single market. So at that time, I started investigating, well, how can I waste these impressions on someone that's never going to click on it? So right after I adjusted my first test campaign, I understood that I shouldn't target 55-year-olds or stuff like that. It got down to a more specific range. So I was testing out different markets. I had different ads on different counties, different ads on different cities. I would put like a pool with nice view. In 2-3 ads, and $300 later, I have 4 pre-approvals, and we're working on them. The only problem right now is finding them home because it's not even them; it's the home that we have to find them now. Right. The fact that the Houston market's so fast that it's typically you got to make an offer right there and then, and people forget that. So, but yeah, it's $300, $24,000 in commission possibly through there, and that a possibility because of what I've learned through marketing the way you taught us and consistently doing it. And of course, free squeeze pages, which I don't know if it came from squeeze pages only or if it came from the marketing, but it was a combination of both, which is great. Still cheap.
Yep, love it. Yeah, that audience tool, man, that's like the world's greatest friend, dude.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So I love it. So, this podcast, I started this podcast to go out there because there's a lot of people that want to, maybe they're struggling or they want to take their business to the next level, and there's so much damn information. And there's so much damn information by people that have never done it, and they're just operating from a place of theory, so much smoke and mirrors. So, I created the podcast so I can go out there and interview doers like yourself. Dudes that are in the trenches, they're out there doing big things day in and day out and proving these results. With that being said, man, do you guys have any last words of advice or inspiration or motivation that you'd like to leave our listeners with so they can go out there and get the success that they know they want and deserve and take their business to the next level?
We'll both do something because they're two different minds here. I think that people that are starting off need to surround themselves with people that are the next level. Don't surround yourself with rookies only. It's cool to have friends, but if you're really trying to beat that statistics that you mentioned that everybody knows that realtors quit in the first 3 years, and a lot of them quit even sooner than that, then you have to surround yourself with that mentality. Start reading a ton of books that study the greats, like if it's from Joshua's stuff or if it's Albert Einstein books or anything, Michael Jordan, for example. There's a lot of things that you have to understand mentality first. Because this industry will kill you mentality-wise, and if you let it beat you, you're gonna be crushed. Easy things are easily crushed. That's why you say let's crush it. Things that are fragile and easy to crush. You don't want to be. First things first, of course, mentality and consistently learn. If you don't have time to read a book, which is what everyone excuses is, you don't have time to read a book. I don't have time to read a book. We used to read books. And you have to consistently learn and then apply it. And stop comparing yourself to other people like Jackie mentioned earlier that are 10 years in the industry or even 5 years in the industry. Worry about yourself. There's a quote that you mentioned a long time ago, and there was like a lion, and he said the only competition is yourself. He's looking at a mirror. So you have to compete with yourself and set high expectations. Don't go for the low ones because if you could continue leveling up, next year's goal is to double what we're doing this year. I could have said, just 2 more homes would be good, or maybe 5 more homes. I'm thinking the next level. If I have small goals, then I'm not going to get to that level because it's such a small expectation. So high expectations is another good thing as well. And of course, Joshua's office, for example, has a ton of motivation everywhere. And so do we in our office. Right above our door, and both her door and my door, it says never give up. It's a decal that you put on there. So surround yourself with positive things all day long, and that will get you to the next level. And this is coming from a guy that's only done it for a year and a few months. A lot of people didn't sell not even half of what I sold and Jackie sold. And the reason is because mentality and because of the hustle. So you have to put in the work that no one else wants to do to get to that next level. If you're just sitting around and not doing what you're supposed to do, you're not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah. And what I've learned also is not to let what other people bring you down. Like sometimes my mom's like, "Oh, Jackie, you work too much. You need to come by my house and just hang out." And I'm like, "Mom, I need to work if I want to get where I want to get." So I still go visit her. I don't stop visiting her, but I mean, I still put my work as a priority, and I don't let other people say like, "Hey, Jackie, let's go out for drinks," or "Hey, Jackie, why don't you stop calling? I mean, you need to hang out with us." Like I just focus more on our work and getting shit done.
Yeah. Awesome.
So,
Love it, guys. Powerful words. So, to our listener base, I know I end every podcast with this, you guys, but information without implementation is just the start of delusion. Information is not power. It's taking that information, applying it into your life, into your world that creates power for your life. So, you guys heard so much great information, so many great, awesome pieces of nuggets there that you guys can take and apply and go out there and dominate. So, make sure that you do that and take action right now. And Mickey and Jackie, this has been an awesome time, man.
Yeah.
I love chilling with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here, man.
All right, you guys.
Thanks for having
We'll
us.
see you next time. Peace.